Hi, this was the first episode I made. And at the time, you'll see, it took me a couple minutes to register that my audio wasn't recording. So when this episode first starts out after my little intro, it's going to sound not full quality for the first little bit. And then it'll catch on and it'll be a lovely, crisp audio like this one. So buckle up, enjoy the first episode. There's going to be many more after this, and they're going to be even better, and they're going to get better every time. I just hope you like it.
Wait, what was I saying?
All right, so I'm sitting here doing the last run through of editing before I release this episode tomorrow. And I just want to say that if you want to skip to the part where it gets good, the audio finally cuts in at about like 3 minutes, at like the 3-minute mark. So if you want to skip ahead, that's fine. You'll miss a little bit of context, but it's not that serious. I just hate that the audio cut out the way that it did. But nonetheless, I appreciate you sticking through the first part of this, where it's not the best, to get to the best part. So, without further ado, here we go.
We have got to grease this chair before we start this podcast for real.
Derby D farty.
I know y'all hear that. And I'm going to fix it for you. Logan gave me the idea for this podcast. The name came from me just sitting here in this chair, and I was thinking about names for the podcast, and I was like, okay, so Emma Chamberlain has Anything Goes, Brittany Broski has the Broski Report, then there's Call Her Daddy, but like I want to embody like all three of those in one podcast. Especially Brittany Broski and Emma Chamberlain's, though. Those two, they are like my two most listened to women. And I absolutely love the way that they do their podcast, the way that they literally just talk. That's what they do. And that's what I do. So that's what I'm trying to embody here. I was sitting here trying to figure out a name to call this thing. And what was it I said at first?
I don't even remember. It was something stupid, I'm not gonna lie.
I think it was
It
like...
was like everything.
Oh, it was a little bit... No, it was a little bit of everything.
Which is too long.
So, while I was trying to figure it out, I was like, okay, but since I'm going to be talking about any and everything that comes into my brain, I was like, okay, a little bit of everything makes sense, you know? And then I just like kind of tried to elaborate on that. And then I tried to change my Instagram username.
You never hit record on this.
Does that... Well, but look, is it working on there? Regardless?
I don't know.
How does that work?
No. Let's just... I'm going to hit it here just to see. And now we'll hopefully kept everything. We'll see.
Hopefully the audio is recording.
I don't know. I just know that it puts it on this SIM card. Maybe the audio is in that SIM card.
Because you can see the audio thing on the monitor there. Mm-hmm. We're learning here. This is the day we took this podcast kit out of the package. Okay?
Yeah. So we'll see.
This is my crash course for myself, whether it gets posted or not, or it's only used for clips. I don't care. So anywho, I was talking about how I want to talk about any and everything, a little bit of everything. That's why I wanted to name it that. And I went on Instagram and tried to change my username. And a little bit of everything was taken. I should have gauged that in my brain. I should have been an intelligent human being enough to think, that's probably taken. But no. So then I was sitting there and I was like, well, what the heck am I going to call it? Because I was dead set on that. I was like, that makes sense because that's what it's going to be. And then Logan was like, well, you have a lot of ADHD and you ramble, so why don't you call it KDHD? And I looked at him and I said, bitch, you are a genius. Bitch, you are genius. How did you come up with that? You want to elaborate on how you came up with that? If you
I mean, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was very simple.
It ain't that.
It was so simple. Katie, obviously sounds like AD, and then HD. Katie HD. It's Katie in high definition. So
I
you could put it like that too if
in
you
4K.
Wanted,
But I went to try to change my username to KDHD, and KDHD was taken. So the name of the podcast is KDHD, but my username on Instagram is Living with KDHD. Whether you want to take that as my Instagram account as you're living with KDHD and you're led into my life a little bit more, or it's me having to live with ADHD. Regardless, that is the name of the page. What I'm going to be posting.
I have to change my bio now.
What's your bio?
Because now it used to
executive
say,
to the assistant.
It used
or
to
something.
say assistant regional manager
At Parker Portraits.
At Parker Portraits. Now I have to do something else.
Yeah. So for those of you.
So if you're looking for Parker Portraits on Instagram, she doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist anymore.
She's dead.
You know the song Taylor Swift, what is it, Reputation?
Reputation.
It's from the Reputation album, is it called? No, it's Look What You Made Me Do.
Is that it?
Yeah, Look What You Made Me Do. I promise you it's Look What You Made Me Do. I'm sorry.
You made me do.
The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. That's me with Parker Portraits. I'm sorry. Parker Portraits can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. She's dead. If you're wondering why, and you want to look at my face whenever I say this, why I'm leaving the photography industry, it is not because I hate photography and I'm not fulfilled by it. It's because I'm tired of working for people who don't have the ability to pay me more whenever my equipment just keeps raising in price. My premiums keep raising in price. The amount of work I'm doing, I'm spending like 100 hours.
Well, you said it like you shouldn't be climbing a ladder as a business owner.
Yes, I should make my own ladder.
As your current business owner, you're climbing a ladder of trying to get people to pay you more.
Whenever I set my price. But the thing is there's an industry standard for your age. This is what sucks about photography. Whenever you are a certain age, if you're in your 20s, especially your early 20s like me, you think about it this way. In wedding photography, somebody's mama or somebody's daddy or somebody's grandma is paying for wedding photography, not the client that you are speaking to.
Your mama, your daddy, and your grandma.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And so, or your in-laws. And so whenever you talk to the client that wants to hire you, that's like, I love your work. I think your work is beautiful. I wouldn't want anybody else to photograph your wedding. I hear that all the time. And then I quote my price and they're like, I don't know if I can afford that. The problem is, if it were a 40-year-old man or a 40-year-old woman who's been doing photography for 20 years and they visibly look older, mamas, grandmamas, whoever's paying for this shit, whoever's paying for the weddings, whoever's paying for the senior photos, whoever's paying for that shit, they're going to be like, oh yeah, totally. Because they look at those people and they say, that's a professional. Because the people that I work for right now in this wedding industry, I don't work with professionals. I work for everyday people who work 9-to-5 jobs, who are getting married and starting their lives. And they have parents who can't really afford shit. And if it's a 20-year-old with a camera or a 23-year-old like me with a camera, they don't care that I have kids, that I have a mortgage, that I have a husband who's in the... They do not care what I have going for me, that I've been doing this for 7 years. They don't care how expensive my gear is. They don't care that I have over $10,000 in the bag that I take to that wedding. They do not care. They only see a 23-year-old with a little camera. They don't see the fact that I take 100 hours per wedding where I'm sitting at my computer editing and on the verge of tears because my son wants my attention and my baby's crying and I have to figure out if I'm going to finish this person's wedding on time or if I'm going to completely let it go for 2 days to a week late to tend to my kids It's awful. It's absolutely awful. What I like about photography and the reason why I started doing it is capturing moments, capturing like something just legendary that you'll never get to see again, and having memories interlocked forever. And something that I want to transition to is stuff like sports photography, stuff like modeling, stuff like brands, things that pay well, and I'm getting paid by professionals who appreciate my expertise and don't look at me for my age. Whenever I work in the wedding industry, I work for people who say, "Aw, cute, 23-year-old, she has a camera. That's so cute. You're doing so well for yourself. Oh my God, your price is $3,000. You are ripping people off."
Meanwhile, Uncle George brought his Canon T6.
Yeah, a Rebel
He's
T6.
snapping pictures in the
No,
crowd.
it's always if it's a grandpa, it's always a Nikon at them weddings. Grandpas always be carrying around their Nikons. And then they try to come up to me and they're like, "Well, if you need any help or if you need any tips, I've been doing photography for years." It's this old ass, beat ass
Calm down,
camera.
Paul.
Calm down, Paul. Calm down,
I
Paul.
don't need Papaw showing me how to use equipment.
Calm down, Paul. We ain't doing it.
Papaw can't figure out his iPhone.
No, he can't figure out his iPhone.
No
and
disrespect.
He damn
That
sure
is no disrespect
can't
to
figure out
Papaw.
his damn Nikon.
Because that man got
that
a lot
he's
of,
had for
he got
15
a lot
years.
of life experience. And I will give him that. And again, respect. Hats off. But stay in your lane, please.
Needless to say, I'm not leaving photography forever. I'm leaving the part of the industry that does not serve me or my family. When I do wedding photography, I'm not present for my kids. If I did sports photography and I only had like a batch of 50 photos to edit after trying to get like access to, here comes Simba's big ass. I know y'all hear them feet.
What do you want? If you wake one of the kids up,
I swear to God, if
You're
you wake that
sleeping
baby,
outside.
if you wake that baby,
lay down.
ooh, we gonna have words and we gonna have hands thrown. Cause no ma'am.
Lay down.
Simba, get your ass on the carpet. Quit tic-tac-toeing around this damn hardwood.
Not tic-tac-toe.
ASMR. Anyway, if I can get like all access to stuff like Panthers games, if I can get into concerts, if brands want to use me to do like some collaborative work, maybe some stuff for like commercials, maybe some stuff for ads, that's the type of stuff. I've made connections and I'm laying low. I'm not advertising myself to people anymore. I'm advertising myself to industry professionals. And I'm not doing weddings. I'm not doing families. I'm not doing seniors. It does not serve me or my family. It does not make nearly the amount of money that I should be making for the amount of work that I'm putting in, the amount of admin I have to do, the amount of social media, the amount of advertising, the amount of tax work I have to do, my spreadsheets, my backlog of work, like all of it put together. It's not worth it for me anymore, especially in North Carolina as a 23-year-old. Nobody is paying me what I deserve. Even if they are people who mean well and they're beautiful clients and they're the sweetest people on earth and they even add a little tip at the end, it's not enough for the thousands of dollars I have to spend in equipment every year. If my computer dies on me, I have to replace my computer. If a camera breaks, I have to replace a sensor. If I have a lens that doesn't work as well anymore, I have to get a new one. I have to constantly buy SD cards. I have to constantly buy new cables. I have to constantly use my miles on my car. Like, the list goes on, and it is financially killing us more than it's helping us. I want you to kind of elaborate your side of what you've seen me go through and what you've gone through over the past 4 years of us being married and me doing full-time photography, how that's kind of affected you and us, and especially Derek, our oldest.
Well, I mean, it's just the time that it takes away from, I guess, your family whenever you get home. Because I mean, like, let's say you shoot an 8-hour wedding,
10-hour even.
10-hour, whatever, however long the couple
wedding
pays
was.
you to be there.
Yeah.
You are gone on whatever day it falls on, Saturday typically.
The whole, like, from sun
so
up to
you've left
1
at
in the morning.
7:30 in the morning before and not gotten back until past midnight.
Because
So
we don't factor in, I drive almost 3 hours to every wedding because I live 3 hours away from my base of clients.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll say that the wedding is in, Kannapolis, or better yet, we'll say it's in Charlotte.
Which is
that's
2
3
hours. That's 2 hours
Almost.
and 40 minutes.
Yeah. So you go all the way there, you shoot the wedding.
I
then you
have to
drive
allot
back.
time for
So
gas.
it's just me and Derek at the
stops.
house. And then now it would be me, Derek, and Wesley. So a almost 3-year-old and a 2-month-old. That wouldn't be fun. And then
And they're asking, where's mama all the time? Because I'm home all day, all the time with
Right.
Derek until I have a wedding to attend.
so you get back, you're exhausted. You've got the wedding hangover from the next day, which
And the wedding hangover, that's a whole
and
episode.
I mean, because you're by yourself. This is just if Mimi can't watch the boys,
and I'm going by myself
and
to a
she's
wedding.
going by herself.
And it's smaller and I don't need a second.
You can't edit on your way back home because I'm not driving.
So I have to
you
get here.
edit. You have to get here. You go to sleep. You
For
wake up the
5
next
hours.
morning, and immediately when you wake up the next morning,
My
you
computer's
do
open.
A sneak peek, and your computer's open all morning. So again, I am left with both of the children by myself.
And they're screaming in the background,
and they want
wanting
mom's
me-
attention,
wanting my
because
attention.
They didn't see her all day yesterday.
and I'm having to just look at my
And-
computer and put him in my lap and try my best to do 2 things at once. It's awful. Also,
Let me
if
go put him
I
in his crate real quick. Hold on.
go for it, if I interrupt my guests, my husband, everybody, that is a really, really hard part of ADHD that I am currently working on, where my brain moves too fast for my mouth to register good timing. And somebody will be speaking and I'll be so in tune with what they're saying, and I'll finish their sentence, or I'll interject, or I will not be able to hold my thought back and it just blurts out of my mouth. It's a real problem that I'm working on. And I constantly will probably interrupt people on this podcast. And just know I'm working on it. Okay.
What are you working on? Interrupting
Not
people?
interrupting people because my ADHD takes over my brain because my brain moves too fast.
Anyway, so the next day after the wedding is sneak peek. That usually lasts until lunch. So we've got until 8 a.m. until,
Sometimes 1 p.m.
yeah, it depends.
because I'm answering emails too. I'm on Instagram.
And then you'll get off for the rest of the day, and you'll usually give yourself a few days before you start.
Working on the wedding.
And
again.
then once you work on the wedding, the amount of hours that go into editing,
It's about 100 hours per
total
wedding.
per wedding, you're looking at almost a full week, like Sunday to Sunday sort of deal of
Like 10 hours a day even.
you. And I mean, trigger finger or not, with the camera, you're still outputting over 1,000 photos, but that doesn't account taking 4,000 photos. So you have to cull
And narrowing
through
it down to
all of those
1,000.
photos and narrow that down to the 1,000. And then you have to edit 1,000 photos by yourself on Lightroom.
I would love for you to elaborate on me having to literally pause our evening because I have to do something immediately, because if I don't, we're not going to get a deposit because I didn't answer for an inquiry, or I have to send an invoice. So I have to stop in the middle of dinner and go to my computer and send an invoice.
Yeah, I mean, running a business is like, obviously it's going to come with the constant on your phone, I mean, your business literally runs off of a cell phone.
Yes.
You can run email, texts, social media,
Invoices.
DMs, invoices, all that off of your cell phones, which is great. It's awesome.
But it's also the bane
However,
of my existence.
To make money, you need to always be readily available on said device.
I've learned a valuable lesson in the wedding industry, and if you're still in the wedding industry, God bless you. But if you do not answer your email within a few hours of the inquiry coming in, they are probably already going with somebody else, and you are going to lose that client. Because most wedding photography clients searching for a photographer, they only reach out to the people that they like the work of. Most of them reach out to 3 to 5 photographers total. Whoever responds first, that's usually who they pick. They say, she's responsive.
Yeah,
He's
first come,
responsive.
first serve kind of thing.
I like them. I want to work with them.
They're engaging.
So you have to be on your phone. You have to be quick. And if I want to bring money to our home so that I always say, his money pays the bills and buys the groceries. My money buys the organic groceries. We can't afford the nice groceries. We can't afford to eat the nice, like, elaborate, healthy meals unless I work and I bring money home. Now, he's recently gotten a raise and he's about to get another one. So that's changing. And that's another reason why I feel comfortable leaving this industry now to pursue something else, because things are about to get a lot more financially stable for us if I'm not working. And also the income, how sporadic the income is whenever I work.
Yeah.
1 month, I can make like $8,000 in 1 month.
I mean, you'll make half of your year's income in 1 month if you
I wanted to.
If you wanted to.
And it's not even because I wanted to. It's because everybody just decides, especially at the beginning of the year,
Well, it's
everybody's like, let me pay off my wedding.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's just people that
Are ready to pay things off.
They have $2,000 left to pay on their wedding, and they're like,
let me get this out of the way.
I'll just go ahead and pay all $2,000.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be split up like $500 for the next 4 months.
And so I lose 4 months of
now,
$500 each.
For the next 4 months, we're having to either you just go ahead and pay that $2,000 to whatever you need it for, or you save it, which is, let's just be honest, it's difficult to save that money.
Especially when there's immediate needs. And most of the time, we're living paycheck to paycheck. We always have to pull from savings.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not fun to have $2,000 thrown in your face in one day that you weren't expecting and not knowing where to put it. That's a big thing. And then also, you can make like $10K 1 month and then make $0 for 4 months straight. Mm-hmm. And then you can make $10K again over 2 months, and then you'll have a month of $0. And then you'll have 1 month of $2,000, and then the next month $500. And then the next month $3,000, and then the next month $500. It's so hard to figure out where your money goes. You never know when it's going to come in. I am very lenient with payment plans because I know, good as anybody, that most people, they don't know when they're going to get the right amount of money, when they're okay enough to let go of their savings to invest in wedding photography for their business. I mean, for their wedding and for themselves. And they don't know when they're going to get enough paychecks and have enough back end savings to where they're okay with letting go of the rest of it to give it to me to perform services for them. So I always say, you can pay over time if you want to split it into 2, if you want to split it into 4 payments, or if you want to pay me something monthly. I love my monthly clients because it's guaranteed income, but they are very few and far between. And after August, I'm no longer going to have any monthly clients paying me anymore. So after August, who knows what I'm going to make? Probably nothing. Like, it's It's so inconvenient.
And that's always the worst time of the year too, because we've got
I'm doing the bulk of my work
Well,
in
we
the
have-
fall,
we
and I
have
make the least.
we have your birthday, my birthday, our
Halloween.
anniversary, my property tax on my car. We have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then your property tax on your car. So it's like back to back to back to back to back to back to back financial.
Just financial hit, financial hit, financial hit, financial hit.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we have Wesley's birthday on January 4th.
Yeah.
To add
he
to
just
it.
had another birthday. So
The fall sucks for us. And I always do the most work in the fall, and everybody paid me for the fall stuff in January.
So if y'all need money in July,
January through July is usually when I make the most.
no. If y'all need money from us from May to January,
We're broke.
don't ask me and mine for nothing.
Don't ask if you want a Christmas gift.
I'm
You ain't getting
sorry.
it from me.
I am so sorry,
I'm too busy
Condolences,
trying to figure out how the
honestly.
hell I'm going to get Christmas for my kids.
but I ain't got it.
I ain't got nothing
I ain't got
around
it.
that time of year.
Well, I'm
Now,
broke.
here in the next few years, it might be changing.
Might be something different, a little something.
I'd also like to add that another reason why I'm choosing podcasting, not only because it's going to be fun for me and because it's something that is going to be a creative outlet, I get to be silly, I get to express myself, I get to share things that I want to share with the world, and also that people have told me that they'd enjoy it. That's not even the only thing. I know that podcasting could potentially create a good passive income for my family if it blows up. Don't know that it will, hope that it does. But if I get sponsors, if I get streams, I get money. And this is a financial investment for my family. If it goes down in flames, I can sell this shit on Facebook Marketplace and try something else. But I will be doing photography in the background. It will not be wedding photography. It will not be families, seniors, nothing like that. I've been in touch with a few different businesses, one of which who is a DJ for the Carolina Panthers. And I'm making relationships with those people so that I can get my foot in the door for more professional opportunities, like maybe some sports photography for the NFL, where I can just shoot an email with a zip file with proof written on the photos. And if the NFL wants to pay me for certain images, they can pay me for certain images, and that's the end of my job. And that would be beautiful for me, to be honest. I get to just travel on my own time. If I can't make it to a game, give my pass to somebody else. I don't have to have so much pressure to perform, pressure to show up. I can show up whenever I'm available to. If he were to get deployed, if he were to go off for training, he's going to be leaving in April of 2025 for school to become a physical therapist in the Army for 5 months. During that time, it's going to be really hard for me to do work. And it always has been hard for me to do work whenever he has to go somewhere. So why am I going to stay in a place that is literally miserable, living hell? And everybody on Instagram is telling me, oh, you're a badass business owner. You're a badass bitch. You do so much. You juggle so much. You're great. But on the inside, I am literally dying. I'm overstimulated. I'm like, half the time I have to put earplugs in so that I can focus, or I'm literally covering my ears like this and having to like focus on breath work so that I don't have a panic attack, because there's so much going on in my house while I'm trying to get stuff done on my computer. It's torture, and I'm done. And when my kids go to bed, this can be my time to just decompress. What a fun way to make money. I'm not going to make money for the first part of it. It's just going to be for funsies. But eventually, I am seeking opportunities from this. And my end goal is to not only make people laugh, but to provide a future for my family that we're excited about.
Well, I don't know how this works as far as if this is even a thing or not, but I mean, you might get to a point to where you just get your name put in, like your business or your name put into a pool of other photographers, and then they send out like whoever the vendor is or the venue, they send out like this mass email to all the photographers, and they say, all right, who wants this one?
Or if
And you
artists
can respond to it.
even
Or artists.
for
or,
concerts.
You know,
If they see
even
my
just-
work.
even just anybody in the Charlotte area, you know, if you do one thing for Bank of America Stadium during the Panthers season,
Or if I
then
do
Charlotte
something
FC might reach out
for
Then
Spectrum Center.
Spectrum Center, the
Hornets.
Hornets, the Carolina Hurricanes, the Charlotte Knights, like
Or if I do something for
all it takes is one.
for a hummus company. If I take branding
Sure,
pictures
if you're into that, yeah.
or
go for
like
it.
maybe like Good Americans taking like some casting calls in Charlotte, and they are hiring photographers to do their casting. Like I could work a job with Good American
modeling
one day.
jeans.
Yeah,
and,
like-
or just some studio reaches out and say, hey, we love your work. You know, we'd love for you to come take some pictures in the studio. We'll pay you XYZ.
I want to be in the professional space.
Or they don't even have to pay you. They could just promise exposure
Yeah.
because
And
they
here's the
have
deal.
exposure.
Here's the deal. I don't plan to have a photography Instagram anymore. I plan to live off of connections and live off of my expertise. Because I have enough years under my belt and enough work in a portfolio to show. And I have enough connections and people reaching out to me saying, we think you're so professional. We loved working at you at with you at such and such event. We'd love to have more opportunities to work with you in the future. I get emails like that. Makes my day. Having connections like that is all that matters to me right now because I am done advertising. I'm done doing everything. I just want my name floating around in the professional space. I do not care to have an Instagram. I will have a website for it because I need people to be able to access my portfolio and contact me. I'll have my business cards, but ta-ta, goodbye to the life I've been living with photography because it is so unserving. And I hope for other photographers that the wedding industry becomes better. I doubt that people will pay more, but the only people making $10K off of a wedding are the 35 to 45-year-old photographers that everybody knows in their hometown, and that's the only person that they'll go to. It's people who are older that are taken seriously, but in the professional space, younger people like me are appreciated. And I'm trying to go where I'm appreciated.
Well,
So
I mean, you haven't even touched on the fact that here in Fayetteville, everybody is.
oh my God. Everybody's a
let's just say
freaking photographer in Fayetteville.
Half of the population here is from Fort Liberty.
Yes.
They're
And I'm
military.
okay.
That's fine.
I'm
But the thing
1000%
is
okay with women being
it's
photographers.
so hard to market here because
Everybody
everyone picks
does
up
it.
photography.
Because
all the
it's-
military spouses because
It's the
they're
only
bored.
job. Well, it's
Well,
the
they're
only
bored.
job you can take to every duty station
It's
and
either-
hopefully make money.
It's either you're a Starbucks barista or you're a photographer
Or you're a hairstylist.
or you're a hairstylist.
All
because you can take those
military
anywhere.
spouses. And
So,
I'm
Miss Sally
guilty,
Mae,
guilty
that
as
is-
motherfucking charged.
Well, no, you had your photography business before
I
you
moved here.
Moved here before we even got married.
And
So
that
doesn't apply to you.
I want to say I am 1,000,000% okay with women picking up a camera,
yeah,
becoming
and I'm not
inspired,
saying that they can't.
and starting a side business, a side hustle. I'm okay with it. But whenever it becomes so oversaturated that the people who are professionals are getting overshadowed by people who are like $60 for minis.
$60 for minis,
Like,
and then
I
for mediocre pictures.
like, people are like,
Because
oh,
they
well, I
edit
can
them
get
on
it
their
cheaper.
iPhone.
People don't care that my work has better quality because I've been in it for so long. People care about the price point and the deal they're going to get and the way that they can get the most bang for their buck.
Here's the thing: is like, I don't know. I say that a lot. I realize that now. Listen to myself. I say, here's the thing.
I say I said a lot. Like before
Yeah.
I preface what somebody has said, I'll say, I said and then I'll say it like 3
'cause
times
I just
within
noticed
trying to
that
explain it.
I say that. Here's the thing. So like
You say here's the thing all the time.
I know it's bad. I got to work on that.
It's cute though. You don't have to work on it.
No, it's
Cute. It's how
Anyway.
you talk. I mean, we're doing a podcast, and I don't give a fuck if people don't like how we talk. If people are annoyed by here's the thing. They can go somewhere else.
what
It's
was
fine.
I about to? Here's the thing.
Exactly. KDHD. Welcome. Am I rubbing off on you, sweetie? We were talking about how everybody's a photographer in Fayetteville, and
Oh, I know what I was gonna say.
okay,
The purpose of having pictures is not the same as it was 15 years ago.
yeah, because people have iPhones, they don't give a fuck.
Well, people won't pay for these high quality pictures because nobody hangs pictures in their house anymore.
And I sure as
And
hell
nobody
do.
wants them for their memory books.
They
or
want it
their
for
photo
Instagram.
Books. They just want it for Instagram.
That's
so if
all
you
they
can
want it
snap
for.
it on your iPhone 15 with the really nice phone cameras that they've got, they're happy because they can just throw it up on the Instagram or their X, whatever Twitter is now, or Facebook or whatever social platform you want. Like, there's no point
And
to pay thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars for good quality photos anymore.
Honest to God, I have had people who have reached out to me and inquired for a photo shoot, and then I'll tell them my price, and then they'll ghost me and they'll go to another photographer, and then they'll have a new profile picture done by a photographer who has just picked it up, and they use it for their LinkedIn, and they're trying to use it for business
And
pages.
they did this. They said, this is the photo shoot right here. They said,
No,
done.
they have a camera, but they're using auto. They're
is what
not.
it
They
looks
don't
like,
know how to
though.
shoot on manual though.
No, it looks like
But it
was
does. It
taken on
looks like it
this.
was taken on that.
Like,
And the editing quality is awful, and the person doesn't look good in it. And nobody values like somebody like me who meticulously looks at every detail. If I see a little piece of hair on your face, I'll fix it because I know that that's a moment you want captured, and you don't want to not like that there was a piece of hair in your face. I look at every detail. I make sure your face looks really smooth, but it doesn't look porcelain. I make sure you look like you, but you look enhanced. I make sure the light flatters you. I will put you in positions whenever I pose you.
you also
that
make
will-
sure that people don't look orange.
Yes, that's another thing. And the thing is people do not care that I have the ability to do that. They care that they can pay somebody to take a picture for them. And if it looks bad, they can edit it on their phone.
Well, they're paying for the experience too. So
Yes.
you bring a very fun, bubbly, comfortable experience to clients because of your personality. You're a people person
I try my
and
best.
you don't like silence. So you won't ever, there will be no ounce of silence during a photo shoot.
If I've sent something's awkward,
So-
I'll start talking.
Like if you don't want to pay $500 for a comedy session and a photo shoot, then
Too bad.
sorry,
Sorry.
but you're missing out.
Well, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But I do
Yeah,
want to
well,
say, I've been saying like all the reasons that I hate photography right here. I want to say that this has served me in a way that has been fulfilling. And there are times whenever I get to a certain wedding, great example is the very last wedding I did recently, where you show up to a wedding and all the vendors are great. The couple was happy to pay you what you laid out on the table for them. They took you at face value. They didn't care what your price was. They just wanted you to be their photographer. I felt really appreciated. The wedding was beautiful. The pictures were beautiful. The couple was beautiful. All of the vendors were sweet. The food was great. Like the
Hands
music,
down the best wedding.
the best wedding we've ever done.
shot.
And stuff like that makes me think that I am going to miss this, and I probably will. But the overall cons outweigh the pros in so many ways because of what it does to my family on the back end and how much time I have to spend away from my family, how many vacations we've missed. Like, I haven't even touched on that part, but there's vacations that we've missed. There's what can I even say? Like the miles I've put on my car, the wear and tear on my vehicle, constantly having to pay for oil changes. I put us in the hole more than I help us financially, just because of the wear and tear on everything, every aspect of what I do to keep this business going.
And I'm about to go back to work next week.
After all of this
the schedule
paternity leave.
is going to be, I mean, like I leave at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't
And you
come
don't get home until 5 p.m.
5:30
Yeah.
in the afternoon. You probably haven't done any editing except for maybe 30 minutes at nap time.
And I'm
if you're
overwhelmed
lucky.
by the time you get home.
And then we have to make dinner when I get home.
And then I have
And
to
the kids
hop
have
on
to
my
go
computer.
to bed. And
I'm stressed.
then you're up and I'm tired and ready to go to bed at 9 o'clock because I've been at work all day.
And you go to sleep
But
at
you have
9.
work to do.
And I stay here until 2 in the morning
So we
editing
have
at this
like
computer because it's the only
maybe
time I get.
Hour, 2 hours of quality time
Yeah.
at max.
And the whole time that we're having quality time, if it's a really busy season, this isn't like this all the time,
Yeah.
but a lot of the times whenever it's a busy season, the quality time that him and I do get together, I'm stressed sitting through the whole thing and I'm at my wit's end and I get snappy. And it's not because I don't like spending time with him. It's not because I'm not having a good time with him. It's not because he's pissed me off. It's because my brain is so full of junk and backlog and I have to do this and I have to do that. Oh my goodness, I forgot to clean that because I was having to worry about this. And I have to edit. I have to send this email. I have to
I know some of y'all are probably thinking, why don't you just outsource your photos and have
Costs too
somebody
much.
else edit them? Well, one, it costs too much, and two, you can't trust someone to do the same
I
work
trust
you do.
my product. Like I trust what I do and I don't want to hand that off to somebody else. I don't believe in AI that way. I believe in AI to help me whenever I'm editing. And if I don't like something, I can delete the thing that AI did. I don't want to send something off to an AI generated
because
editing
you've tried
site.
that before.
I have
And it
tried that
came
before.
back all kinds of fucked up.
I still had to go through I still had to spend the amount of
it
time
was
I
the same
normally would
amount of time.
spend because there are things
But
that
at this point,
the
you weren't-
human eye and what I see, somebody else isn't going
at
to
that
do
point,
it.
you weren't editing the picture from scratch. You were fixing mistakes that AI made.
Yeah.
And
Or how
having
it
to
blurred a
figure out
face,
how to
'cause
fix the mistake.
AI has come a long way. It scares me what AI is capable of, but also it has
It's
a
got
long way to go.
way to go.
Because I will like denoise a photo with AI, for instance, and it'll make somebody's face look swooshed. I don't even know how to explain it, but it just like
Almost
looks weird.
distorted.
It
in
looks
a way.
distorted.
It's so weird.
It ruins somebody's face, so I have to denoise it manually and go back after I just waited like 15 minutes for my computer to boot up, denoising this with AI, and then I have to go back and delete all of it and then do it manually. I'm tired of it. And if I did sports photography or concert photography or modeling photography and I worked with professionals, I wouldn't be doing a backlog of a wedding that's over thousands and thousands of photos per month. I would be doing like 50 photos a shoot, if that. Because a lot of the times all you have to do is send off 20 final photos and they purchase the photos they want to use. The brand or the company or the organization, they just purchase what they want. I want to do that. I want peace in my life. I want my peace back. I want a career that pays me the time that I'm putting in. I've been doing this.
You need your piece up A-Town back.
I need my flowers, first of all. Ursha, baby, I need my flowers. Talking about Miley Cyrus. I can't buy myself flowers because these bitches ain't paying me enough. But you know who's going to pay me enough? The NFL. You know who's going to pay me enough? Sabra. The people who make hummus.
Sabra.
If I did a shoot
Not
for
the
hummus,
hummus.
who else could pay
You don't
me?
even like hummus.
I know I don't like hummus, but you were eating hummus the other day, and that's why I thought about a hummus brand. You know, what if I did an ad photo for a Bojangles thing? Like, the options are endless. You never know. I could even do architectural photography, and people could frame it and manufacture the image that I made and put it in a Hobby Lobby. Like, I can do whatever I want if I'm just a freelancer. Right now, I'm not a freelancer. I work for my hometown, and I drive 2.5 hours every weekend to work for my hometown and only get paid $3,000 a wedding when the amount of work and hours I spend on that one wedding is worth over 10K. It sucks. After everything that I have to pay for, including taxes, including my oil changes, including my gas, including if I need to stay somewhere, if I need to pay somebody to watch my kids or let my dogs out, or the SD card I used, the equipment that I'm still paying for because I have to finance my equipment because photography is so expensive. If I'm like all of my premiums that I have to pay for, like Adobe, I have to pay for Pixieset, all of this stuff that I have to pay for, once it adds up at one wedding, I probably only take home like $800 out of the $3,000. Like, if we're really thinking about it,
Yeah.
if I'm charging $3,000 for one wedding, I'm only taking about $800 home.
And the thing about small towns or where we grew up is
People can't afford more than that.
They will afford more, but here's the thing: is they will pay the 40-some-year-old photographer that
Exactly.
charges $5,000 for a wedding,
Or $10,000.
that isn't as good as you. But it's like they'll pay for the old.
They'll pay for the
shitty
old
brand.
person.
They'll pay for the shitty brand of paper towels that you have to pay $5 more for a pack, but the one that's $5 cheaper works better.
And it's
It's better quality.
It's like people not buying
Yeah.
Good and Gather brand
it's like,
at Target, and they're still buying the other brand. But Good and Gather, I don't know
they're
about
buying
y'all.
Bounty, and then
Good and Gather
is kicking ass. Taking
10 out of
names.
10. I love me some Good and Gather at Target. That is like one of the best off-brand options out there.
Yeah.
We like, they have a pizza sauce, Good and Gather does.
That's good.
So good. Why are you paying for the shitty stuff just because it's a name brand? Like, God. Oh my God. It's like people paying for Prada.
Robbed.
It's like people paying for Prada. And if you like Prada, no shade. But like,
Yeah, no, there's no shade
but like,
to anybody.
to me, a lot of the stuff, Balenciaga, Prada, all of those, Birkin, all of those name brands that are like luxury brands, most of the fashion that comes with it is not like for daily wear and tear. It doesn't look flattering on most people. Some of the like stuff is ugly and boxy. It doesn't look right.
There are certain things in life where it is worth paying the extra dollar for.
But whenever
it
it's
comes
just
to a bag, a crossbody bag, your Prada bag is not better than my Brixley bag.
yeah.
And I will stand by that, and I will fight that argument.
And if
that's a hill I will die on.
And if I'm the modestly priced Good and Gather of the photography industry, and people still aren't taking me for what I put out there, I don't belong in this industry. I really don't.
You can take your talents somewhere else and get paid what you deserve.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do.
So we've been recording for a long time, and I wasn't expecting to do all of this, but I guess this is the first podcast episode. This was supposed to be us just bullshitting around trying to figure this out. But if the audio works out, I guess I'll use this. I have so many topics that I am going to share over the course of this podcast time that we are going to
There's
be
some good ones in here.
entering together. But like, just to name a few, I guess we'll call this one the Leaving the Photography Industry episode, because that's basically what this was. We're going to do an All About Derek episode where we literally just talk about childhood development with our oldest, who is a toddler right now.
Stink.
Good old stink.
Stink.
Good old stink. Good old dairy cow. We're going to be, deek.
Dee.
We'll talk all about Derek. We're going to talk about how the military is a welfare system. Hot take. We're going to be talking about like us marrying young and what that did for us and why we don't think it's for everybody, but it definitely was for us.
Our first apartment being a movie.
Oh my God, our first apartment was
Y'all
ridiculous.
wait for that one. That one was wild.
I am going to talk about like my ADHD and like the way my symptoms manifest. What else? Oh, like things that burn me up inside, like different things that really boil my blood. I'm going to talk about like my childhood in private Christian school, being a preacher's daughter, reasons why I left church. Don't hate God. Y'all don't get it twisted. I just don't go to church anymore. And I want to talk about it. How my manager at Starbucks changed my life. That one's going to be a really good one because that woman really did change my life. We love Linda.
We love her.
And I can't wait to
Wherever
do that one.
you are, Linda.
We love you.
Blessings.
I'm going to talk about like how I see visions because that's interesting. Talking about what like music does to me, how oversharing scares people away. I'd love to touch on my freshman year of high school because that moment of silence, because that was bad, and I'd love to talk about it.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace to that bitch.
She is no more. She don't live
Again.
no more. I'm going
Can't
to
come
talk
to the
about.
phone right now. She's dead.
Yes, I'm going to talk about 2020, the year 2020, and how unhinged all of us were.
2021.
2021. I'm also going to talk about how I was heavily over sexualized as a child. I'm going to be sharing a lot of like traumatic stuff, but it's going to be lighthearted because that's how I roll around here. And I don't sit here and cry about shit. I just laugh about it. So we're going to be talking about that. I have a podcast episode named All-Star Cheerleading Coaches Need a Xanax. And I think I'm going to have my friend Taylor on for that episode because, oh my God, the stories we have and how crazy the cheerleading world is. Good God. I just have like so much to talk about. That's not even touching the surface of everything that I have in my little notes app on my phone. Logan's going to be on for a lot of stuff. I'll be alone for some of it. I'll bring friends on. I'm going to talk about my hometown. I'm going to talk about my brain. I'm going to talk about my deepest fears. I'm going to talk about childhood development, budgeting your money, things that have worked for us and things that haven't worked for us. And yeah, I think I'm going to end this now because my voice is getting so hoarse from this freaking pollen outside. I'm about sick and tired of it. And also, if you're not into cussing, this is not the podcast for you. And I'm so sorry to my mom. I'm so sorry to Logan's mom.
Just
I'm
listen
sorry.
at your own risk.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because this is how we are in our own home. This is how we act.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be.
We're not going to sacrifice who we are for the sake of a podcast and people's feelings.
I love my mom.
We're not going to intentionally hurt your feelings or
Logan's
your,
mom.
You know, whatever you.
And it might hurt their feelings that we're cursing up a storm on the public
Apologies
internet.
in advance. And
My condolences.
you know,
But we
warning.
love you. Fair warning to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any last words, sweetie?
No.
This
No,
man
I
is a
think
man of few words. I don't know why he thought that being on podcast episodes with me was going to be that much fun. He doesn't really have that much to
Well,
say.
not on photography. You know, this isn't really my cup of tea.
Oh, I
don't
can't
really
wait for the
care.
military
Oh,
episodes.
Yeah, just wait.
I can't wait for y'all to hear this man yap. And remember, next time you see me, it's always going to be Yap City. Yap City, bitch. Yap City, bitch. Yap City, bitch. Yap City, bitch. Hold on, wait. We have effects on this little board. Where's the one?
No, it's
Oh,
this one.
Yep, city bitch. Yep, city bitch. Hey. And then I can.
what's this one?
Where's the one that's like a squirrel? I don't know. I'm gonna learn how to work this soundboard, and it's gonna be cute. Okay.
Anywho. Love you.
Got a lot to learn.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Tell everybody toodaloo. Mwah.
Toodaloo.
Welcome to the pod. Oh, and Peachy said, hey, she had to meow for y'all. She had to let it out. Bye.